And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that break because we have returned with our second match of the night to determine who faces off against herO in the upper bracket finals. We have another best of 5, a ZvP between Reynor and herO. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Best of luck. Place your bets, as predictions are going to be open for another couple of minutes, so you can get your gamba on and predict who faces off against herO. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have Reynor for Team Basilisk, and in the top left hand corner, we have for Dragon Kai Gaming, it is herO. Here we go. Again, both Reynor and herO have had a pretty intense tournament already here. As herO, fun fact, he had a pretty early one as he went 3-0. He went undefeated in the group stage. He actually came out in first place and did cruise his way through. Reynor had a bit of a rockier road, but did take down a lot of high-quality Protoss players in the process. Reynor, in the process of making his way here to the playoffs, he did take down MaxPax 2-0 and Firefly 2-0. So his ZvP is in form. Is it in form to take down herO, though? That is the question. The best Protoss player in Korea, as Reynor is going for a 15-15. Now, if you've been tuning in recently over the past month, 2 months, you know, every time we cast Reynor, like he's very fond of it. He's very fond of 15-15s against Protoss, against Terran, and against Zerg. Does do it quite often. Has been the trendy thing for Reynor to do. Very stylistic, that's what I should say. Very stylistic. As we ease our way into this, now in this matchup, 15-15 specifically is for a faster hatchery to be able to get it on location, to not be denied and forced to take the unnatural natural. I do think this is really important against herO, because herO is a very aggressive player. He's very aggressive, he's very dynamic in PvZ specifically, or in every matchup really, but in this matchup he can be very chaotic and very hard to read. So Twilight Council openers are not out of the realm of possibility for herO. He has gone Glaive Adepts before. He's beaten many a powerful Zerg player with Glaive Adepts, so making sure that we have our natural up and running is quite important when it comes to the defense of Reynor. It will deter Twilight Council play. Now, based on the pylon positioning, it looks like a Stargate opener. Looks like a Stargate opener from herO. But with a Stargate, we can go into a multitude of different kind of approaches and builds. We can go different directions. There it is. Stargate is on the way. Warp Gate, of course, is delayed. And Reynor's aware. He does see the lack of Warp Gate. He should be fully aware of the Stargate opener. But the question becomes, do we go for Oracle play, do we go Void Ray, or do we go Phoenix? Again, herO, he can do all of the above, and he's damn good at it. So really my eyes are mainly on herO for this series when it comes to his builds of choices. It's going to be on Reynor to react. I mean, I say that very quickly, I should mention, we are loading into Hardlead. Hardlead is a very small map, very short rush distance by ground. Because it's so short, there are a lot of all-ins. We've seen a lot of Zerg players go for Roach Queen all-ins, whether it's a German taxi, whether it's a Nidus, whether it's just a Queen walk across the map with a creep highway. There have been a lot of all-ins here on this map that even Reynor has done himself. So that's also on the table. That's also, I'm sure, in the back of everyone's mind in this game, that we have potential for that, if the Zerg player were to choose to be aggressive. For now, linear third is being taken. Good denial of the creep tumor. Very nice pick off there from herO. Gets a tumor. Adept's going to be shading out towards that mineral line. And we have our first unit of choice. It's going to be a first Oracle. We have a second Oracle behind this. It's going to be an economic opener out of herO. This is going to lead into a third base. So herO is going to be building up towards 3 bases. Oracles, of course, gain map control. Third Nexus is on the way. The question now becomes, one, can Reynor keep up? As we do get one drone, one worker in the main base. We do deal a lot of hull damage. Good positioning here from Reynor. But the transition from herO is the question. Does he go into +1 blink? Does he go into +1 charge? Do we go double robo into Colossus production? As we have our answer, it is going to be the Forge and Twilight Council. This should be +1 blink stalkers. And again, herO, he has some of the best micro in the world when it comes to blink stalkers. He can use them like no other. He can be hyper aggressive with them as well. It's going to be on Reynor to keep up and to also confirm what's going on. For now, he's just been droning, just making queens. Another tumor goes down. herO being so annoying here, shutting down those tumors. Ooh, as we do have a bit of a gateway explosion behind this. Interesting. Show us our upgrade. Show us our tech choice here. As I believe we delayed our robot production in favor of additional gateways, and we see why. It is going to be charge instead. Let's go. So it's going to be 6 gates in total. We have 6 gates set up here with charge. I believe we're going to be warping in back at home and pushing out quite quickly. We're moving out quite quickly here. Again, there's no robo, no prism, no temple archives behind this. Another couple of gateways on the way. Uh-oh. Did I say 6 gates? That is 8 gate charge. Very aggressive here from herO. His goal here to catch his opponent off guard. Roach Warren still on the way. Again, the Roach Warren is about to finish up. We need Roaches to defend against this. Otherwise, Reynor is going to be in a lot of trouble. Here we go. Again, the size of this map is a double-edged sword. I spoke about how because of how short this map is, we've seen a lot of Zerg players go all in. Likewise, because of how short this map is, we can see herO warp in back at home and move out even without a prism. Doesn't take long at all to move out across the map. And there it is. Zealots are in production. They're amassing back at home. herO, I'm sure he's going to be waiting for an extra warp in. Meanwhile, Lings, they do go for a big counterattack, and we're about to get a read on what's going on. Oh my god, a Ling barely doesn't slip in. Barely doesn't make it through. A lot of Lings are on the way. I'm concerned though, I don't see a lot of Roaches, and here come those charge shots. Their goal to shut down the base. We actually go past the base instead. We're going for the natural. We're going for the third? We're going for the third base. We're going for the queens instead. Oracles, they come in to support. Yeah, they can zone away these Lings. The queens are in a bit of trouble there. Queens are falling. Good pickoffs there from those zealots. So I want to say 2 queens go down and the zealot wave continues. We deny the center base. And we're going for the queens again. These roaches are delayed. We delayed roach production here. Now they're on the way. Now we realize we need them. So far, good damage from herO, but he needs more. As he collapses on this position, zealots from behind. We get the queens. The queens are going to be going down one after the other. Clutch Ravager movement there from Reynor. But every queen goes down. And we ignore the natural base. We recognize that SimCity. We're going for the third. We're going for the third instead. More zealots on the way. We're catching the army out of position. Out in the open. We collapse here on top of the Ravagers. Big pickoffs there from herO. And he's getting too much damage. 15 drones go down. This is game-ending damage here as we get even more in between the bases. Again, this caught Reynor completely off guard. It was a 3-base, 8-gate charge timing here with +1. And we're following it up with Blink with +2. Second Forge for +1 armor. Zealots, they continue to flood in, and GG gets called. It's just too much. And herO takes game number 1. We're losing him. Oh no. herO, he takes game number 1 here. Barely connected to the internet. Who needs it? 240p. Vámonos. GG, well played. Again, we spoke about how unorthodox and how unpredictable herO can be, and how aggressive he can be as well. And this build, again, to give credit to Reynor, this build that herO did is unorthodox. It is not standard to not just open up charge, but to also double down, skip the robo, and go for an 8-gate charge, essentially 3-base all in. Because there was very little tech behind it, essentially 3-base all in. And Reynor didn't scout it. He didn't scout it. I was curious if his Ling counterattack could maybe get eyes on the Zealots, but he didn't. He didn't see the Zealots, didn't see the army that was amassing, so he missed the scout. He didn't get into the main base, didn't realize how many gateways there were. Reynor, who was being a little bit greedy by not going for the Overseer scout, and he was caught with his pants down. The pants, they were down, Bappy, and herO took advantage of Reynor. GG, a solid win there from herO. And I don't think we're going to see that build again. Bearing in mind, I don't think that we're going to be seeing that build again from herO. To be fair, I expect a unique build every game. Every single game of this series, I expect herO to come out with something different, with something special. And that's what is scary. That's what's difficult about facing off against herO, is that he has just so much available to him. And he's just so difficult to keep up with tech-wise, or mind game-wise, or build-wise. So a solid win there from herO. We'll see if Reynor can keep up here in game 2 and in the rest of this series, and if he can get a better read here on what's going on as well. We're losing Reynor. Oh no. We're losing him. Not like this. Okay, he's coming back. He's coming back. Here we go. What respective ping do you think they're playing on? So for Europe versus Korea, I believe they play and they alternate between West and Central, if I'm not mistaken. So they alternate between them. So they would vary between like 130 to 180 ping, depending on which server they're going to be playing on, and they're going to be alternating back and forth. So both players are going to be playing on ping, but again, it's going to be as even as possible, as both players are going to be suffering with higher ping as a result, as we alternate between the servers between the games. So that is how things are typically done between Korea and Europe. And here we go. We're getting into the next game, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a Reynor for Basilisk. And in the top left, we have his opponent. We have herO for CranKy Gaming. Ah, yeah, as Senju was saying. It's also the rough thing about Central and West is, if we do want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, is that Europe is a big place. So depending on where in Europe you are, different European players actually experience better or worse ping. That's also another thing if you want to like really get into it. Like Eastern Europeans, for example, can have a rougher ping compared to more Western Europeans. So that is like that can be like a slight factor for like an extra like 20 ping, for example, but like nothing major. As we are settling into game number 2. Here we go. Oh, we got the cameras back. Beautiful. Kind of. Oh no, hero's stuck? No. As we are getting into our openers, once again, it is looking to be a hatch gas pool. So hatch gas pool opener here from Reynor, going into delayed gases. Meanwhile, herO going for a gate expand. So standard opener out of herO. Once again, these now becoming signature opener of Reynor. So again, his gas is going to be delayed, but he's going to have his natural base up and running. It's going to be able to get into the swing of things and get a comfortable start here to game number 2. Now, as we load into Oceanborn, we should again talk about the maps. The map did come into play last game as well. That charge all in from herO would work far worse on a larger map like Alkyone or Ratissa Station or even Site Delta. So I'm sure, or even Hecate. So I'm sure Hardlead did lead to that decision. Likewise, Oceanborn is another good map for all-ins. The rush distance by ground is a little bit longer, that is true, but the third base location is much more exposed. The reason for this is because there's no ramp leading into the leading into the third. I should say, the ramp leading into the natural is quite large, and you can actually get onto the same point of elevation of the third base at the center of the map, because there's a ramp leading into that area in the center of the map instead, which is why, likewise, a lot of Roach Queen all-ins are also common on Oceanborn, or aggression is common on Oceanborn, because of how more vulnerable that third base is. As once again, herO opening up with a Stargate opener back at home. And we should be seeing an Oracle opener alongside this. And there it is, Oracle is in production. So herO once again is going to be opening up from Oracles into a third base, just like the previous game. But as we mentioned, just because the opener is standard doesn't mean the follow-up is standard. What happens in the mid-game, it's really only herO knows. And even then, he may not know right now. he may still be thinking about it. Third base now being taken. As I mentioned, from here we can go +1 blink, we can go charge, we can go into delayed Twilight Council faster Robo production with Robo Forge instead. We can go double Stargate and Mass Oracle, which herO does like to do. So really, we're all just kind of waiting to see what kind of build herO whips out. And likewise, not just what build he whips out, but if Reynor can get a read and scout what's going on. Information is what Reynor was lacking in that last game. That's why herO had so much success, is, as we mentioned, because Reynor didn't know what was happening. Didn't know that he had to prepare for a charge all-in, didn't know that he needed roaches, static defense, potentially Bailings as well. Ooh, as we're going double for... Oh my god. Wait, triple forge? Disc, is that you? What? This is new. we cast StarCraft here on a daily basis, like 8 hours a day, every day. We cast a lot of herO, and I've got a pretty good read on the typical builds that herO does, like Mass Oracle, like Charge All-Ins. But this, I haven't seen from herO before. Triple Forge. I have seen Disc do this. Disc did this, fun fact, in DreamHack Americas, in ESL Masters Winter, in the Americas Regionals. He's the only other player I've seen do this, and to be fair, Disc did it for the lulz, because I think he like bet his chat. He like, chat, watch me do this when I play. He's like, okay. So we have a 1-1-1 timing here for herO, and more importantly, he delays his Twilight Council. So this is looking like a variation on a tech-heavy build. So the more standard build that I think this is kind of peeling off from is Forge Robo. Forge Robo openers do lead into faster Robo production. So Colossus and Immortals, we go into Delayed, Charge, and Blink, and we go into a 4th base. We go into a macro game, and we hit a timing with all these upgrades, like with 2-2-2, for example. So we have Immortals on the way. So Immortals are amassing, again, a very tech-heavy style. We're not going to be aggressive anytime soon because we're delaying our Twilight Council upgrades. This should be charged, though. I imagine, yeah, there we go. We have charge on the way. We're going to be taking up into Archons. This should be working towards Templar Archives and Archon production, and we're going to be building up a Death Ball of Immortal Charge or Archon on 4 bases, and it's going to hit like a truck. I'm assuming this is going to be with 4 bases, but that's a lot of gateways. We're going up to 6. That's going to be 8 gates in total. This is insane. Okay, so scratch what I said about the 4th base and scratch what I said about the Archons. Instead of the Archons and instead of the 4th base, we're hitting a very big timing here with 8-gate charge again, but this time with 1-1-1. But we bust in! We bust into the natural base, and we're going to be getting a scout off. A big moment here for Reynor. He's going to get some damage done, but he sees everything. He sees the massive amount of forges. He I'm sure is shaking his head a little bit, but he gets a better idea of what's happening. He sees some of the gateways. The gateways are split up between the bases, though. And can Reynor respond? But again, at least he gets a better idea of what's happening. There we go. Bathing Nest. Bathing Nest is on the way. Bathing's going to be huge here in the defense. And I love this from herO. So I'm pretty sure that herO was going to hit a timing with 1-1. 1-1 is finishing, but now we have 2-2-2 on the way, and now we have the Temple Archives. I want to believe that because herO got scouted, he won't be hitting the timing that he otherwise would have, and he's going to hit a later timing, and this should be leading to a 4th. Like, if we want to hit with 2-2-2, then this should lead into a 4th base, but we'll see. We'll see how herO does adjust. The Prism is on the way. The Prism could be for the push. Temple Archives is finishing up. If we do move out here and now, we will hit with our 1-1-1 timing. It's not going to be as powerful, as potent, because you can see that Reynor, he's already at 90 workers, and he's already amassing an army. We'll see how this all pieces together. Blink is on the way. herO, he's working on that next step. Blink is now on the way. Archon's being morphed in. Question becomes, is herO going to commit to his push, or does he harass? Yeah, Zealot's on the right-hand side. I believe he's keeping his Archons back at home. Yeah, okay. He's keeping his Immortals and Archons back at home. Oh, he's getting surrounded here. These Zealots are being shot down. Zealots are going to be falling. And yeah, herO, he has to take a more defensive position. The longer this goes on without a 4th, the more concerned I am for herO. herO, he throws down 2 more gateways. That's going to be 10 gates in total. That's a lot of gates. And there it is, 4th now on the way for herO. So he is just pivoting away from this. He's transitioning into a 4-base economy. And Reynor's in control. He's in control of this game right now. He's on that ideal worker count. He's maxing out. He's taking up towards Hive Tech. Spire is on the way. Reynor is looking a lot more comfortable. Right now, it's on herO to survive. herO, he has to survive. He has to defend and actually establish his 4th base. Like, momentum quickly has swung from one player to the other. And a big reason for that is because, you know, we were able to scout, confirm, and respond to what herO was doing. Here we go. We have a massive amount of 25 Banelings on the way. That's a lot of Banelings. Reynor getting ready for his push. How good are the force fields? Oh, first sentry goes down. Full energy sentry as well. Big pick off. herO trying to go for a run by. He's trying to force Reynor back off. Trying to force him back home. Prism going to be threatening the bases. So we collapse on the army of the Banelings. They roll in. They crash into the Archons. A decent stasis trap. herO, he's holding. Like, I'm loving the positioning here of his army. Really good control. Did take off a lot of those Banelings. Broodlords on the way. The Greater Spire in production. Banelings, they crash into the Zealots. Good trades from Reynor, but the Archons, they do soak a lot of those Banelings. The Prism, oh my god, so very low. As the Prism did scout the Greater Spire, but again, herO's on the back foot, he's on the receiving end. He does hold on to his fourth. The Prism goes down. Reynor, he can focus on the main push. And herO, he's just stuck defending, stuck surviving. Reynor gonna be coming in. Again, these Immortals and Archons are so exposed. We get on top of them. And it looks like we get up. Barely not an Immortal. I believe we get an Archon. Zealot's going for some harass. Bold move here from herO. Going for a Zealot run by towards that Greater Spire. And gets it over the Queens. Queen's going to be going down. We catch reinforcements. Good positioning from herO as well. Bathing speed is done. And we crash into the Zealots. They get a good trade from Reynor. Is forced back home though. As Zealots, they get into the economy. They get into the mineral line. 8 drones go down. Again, this is a good run by from herO, but herO did lose a lot across the map. He lost a lot here with his main army. So he can't quite push out. He does alleviate a lot of pressure though. Now the scary thing is that right now herO isn't ready for Broodlords. He has Blink and he's got his, triple upgrades. Sure, cool. But not a lot of Blink Stalkers. herO is still trying to stabilize. He's almost there though. Like he needs a little bit more time. Would ideally like another base. Reynor still on Lingbane Roach Ravager. Rotating around. Going for the fourth. Zealots are coming from behind. They do collapse on the Banelings of all things. But overall, herO, he is holding. Zealots crashing in once again. Reynor still building up his upgrades. He hasn't transitioned yet when it comes to his army composition. His upgrades just aren't ideal. He has a Greater Spire, that's true, but he doesn't want like 0-0 Broodlords. It's not what he wants. As herO, he's still working on the death ball of an army. Now, because of the sheer amount of Immortals and Archons that he has, herO can win a fight and then push towards the bases and kill a base. Like, he has the potential if he can max out. That's what he's hoping for. And so far, he's been trading relatively efficiently, but we have a big link counterattack. Ooh, herO, though, he's in position. Does defend. Lings are being forced back. herO does turn back around. He will deal with those Lings. At the same time, rotating towards the 5th base of Reynor. Sorry, the 4th base even. There's a lot of creep to work through. There is a lot of creep. As they crash on a good Blinding Cloud. Very nice Blinding Cloud here on the Immortals. And we crash into the army. Lings from behind as well. A good trade for Reynor. He collapses on the Immortals and he may be able to break on through. He may just barely have enough. Yeah, a rough fight for herO as he's going to be losing almost everything. The Prism! Oh, the Prism barely survives, but the Immortals go down. And just like that, that's the entire army of herO. He plummets in supply down to sub 100. And again, from almost the start here, Reynor, he was able to gain control of this game, able to scout his opponent, deter the all-in, the timing that herO wanted to go for, and herO, he's been stuck at home ever since. And this is the style of herO. Again, high risk, high reward. If you don't get scouted, you can pop off or you can look amazing like in game 1. If you do get scouted, then things can look rough, like here in game 2. As Reynor, he just collapses on this, Bailey's crashing into the Zealots. Forcing this army back. We get into the middle line. Swell probes go down. GG gets called, and Reynor will take game number 2, tying it up 1-1. GG. GG, well played. So again, a much better game this time for Reynor. He was able to get a read what was happening. Because of that, herO, he had to back away from his initial plans. He was ideally looking for a 1-1-1 timing. He was never able to hit it. And likewise, he was just stuck at home from that point onwards in that game. Just stuck at home perpetually on the back foot, on the defense. So a much cleaner game out of Reynor. And with that, we're tied up. We're tied up 1-1. Now the question becomes, once again, what build are we going to be seeing here from herO on Solaris? And clearly anything is possible. Clearly. Why is herO not going for 3-3-3? Didn't have the money for it. Didn't have the economy. He was never able to max out. I don't know if you noticed, but herO, he was never able to max out, never able to keep up, and a larger army was more important for herO there as opposed to, you know, 3-3-3 upgrades, as expensive as they are. So herO never had the opportunity to try to go for that. And we'll see how things will turn out and what kind of turns we take as we get ready for game number 3, and we're loading on in and spawning in the top right hand corner of Solaris. We have our Italian Zerg player Reynor, the Basilisk, and in the bottom left we have his opponent. We have, for CranKy Gaming, herO. Again, unfortunately, it looks like we have some connectivity issues with the webcams. Both herO and Reynor's cams have been struggling from time to time, but we're doing our best. But for the most part, we have at least Reynor. We have at least his reaction cam. Here we go. As we are going to be settling into game number 3. So far, it looks like another gate expand. Ooh, Reynor for the first time this series going for a hatch gas pull, and he is going to be punished for it. He's going to be forced to take the unnatural natural. So a nice start here for herO. We do have speed zones in the center of the map as well, so aggression can be favored. We have likewise seen some Queen all-ins on this map. So far, though, with how Reynor's been playing, I doubt that's going to be the direction that he takes us in. Once again, our eyes are going to be on herO when it comes to what kind of build we were about. And again, that last game, that was a special one from herO. that was a spicy game. First time I've at least seen herO go triple forge in such a fashion. But we'll see. We'll see what we do plan on whipping out here in game 3. For now, opener should be standard. For now, pylon placement is closer to the bases, I believe. Never mind. It's now going to be thrown down. Okay. It's thrown down on the edge of herO's main, so it looks like another Stargate opener. Should be another Stargate opener. I wouldn't be opposed to mixing it up and going for a Void Ray first. I wouldn't be opposed to either going Void Ray first or Phoenix first. herO does whip that out from time to time and has found a lot of success with that kind of playstyle as well. So we shall see. As there's a Stargate that we mentioned, again based on the pylon placements. And we'll settle into what herO is going to be up to. Likewise, Reynor just droning up, gaining map control, should be soon working on his third base, amassing his queens. Gonna try to get a read on what's happening, keep up with herO. We are just going to be easing into Solaris. Again, a lot of bases to be taken on this map as well. The center of the map is very wide open, so when it comes to longer games, things can get a little bit chaotic and can be a little bit difficult to actually push through, especially once a Zerg player gets creep in the center of the map, as we saw in the previous series. Until then, herO is opting to go for another Oracle opener. So should be standard opener for the time being. It's going to be Oracle into a third Nexus, into a second, into a third Oracle as well. So economic start for herO. Once again, the question becomes, what will the follow-up be? So game 1, we saw an 8-gate charge 3-base all-in. Game number 2, we saw like a weird immortal charge 1-1-1 all-in that we had to deviate away from because we got scouted. So herO, what do you have for us in game number 3? Oracle dipping in between the bases, we catch maybe some larva. Not much else though. Things they have arrived, they get eyes on the third base. They force the second Oracle to stay back at home. Ooh, and two Adepts, they do manage to get across the map. Two Adepts, they do one-shot drones, and we do commit. We're going for the mineral line. One worker goes down, we get two. And can we get a third? Oh, it's one of those Adepts that gets stuck. Does manage to get stuck there. Two Adepts for two drones, not the best trade for herO. We did deny some mining time, but not ideal. Bearing in mind that this does mean that the third base of herO is that much more vulnerable. As the Oracles come back in, looking for any free drones. They catch a Spore. And they do force a kill on the Spore as well. Not bad. Oh, the Oracle taking a lot of hits. Does take a lot of hits as we do manage to get into the dead space. Big Link counterattack here gets some of the Adepts, and we do get one. As we have our follow-up. It's going to be a Forge and Twilight Council. I imagine this will be the first time this series that we do get into Blink, but we have 2 more gateways on the way. 4 gates already. 5 gates already. Oh my god. herO. This is going to be a very aggressive variation. It's +1 Blink Stalkers with 5 gates, soon to be 6, I imagine. Yeah, there we go. More gates on the way. That's going to be 6 in total. A very aggressive variation here from herO. I mean, every game so far has been opening up aggressively. So soon to be very active with these Blink Stalkers. He does keep all of his Oracles alive. Very important. If you want to be active, if you want to be aggressive with Stalkers, you need these Oracles to support yourself. To keep your Oracles alive. They do help when it comes to dealing with these Lings to deny any kind of surrounds. Speaking of, creep is being cleaned up, and Stalkers are amassing. Stalkers have been scattered. Big moment there for Reynor. He does confirm that it shouldn't be charged. Otherwise, we wouldn't see that many Stalkers. Then Reynor, he's piecing it together, but he doesn't know how many gateways there are. He doesn't know how aggressive herO plans on being. Behind this, Reynor playing very safe. He goes for a Roach Warren and a Baneling Nest, alongside +1 melee. So he does have access to Roaches and Banelings. Reynor cutting workers early on here. Cutting workers at 61. And we have 24 Lings in production. Reynor, he should be okay. He hasn't been too greedy. He's been amassing an army. Even with Blink, these Stalkers are prone to us around. Yeah, good baits. We bait out both stasis traps. And Reynor getting ready to come in from behind. He will collapse on this position. This is going to be a big pick-off here. As Stalkers are going down. We got 3. 3 Stalkers do fall. But remember, herO, he's going for a 6-gate timing behind this. He's being hyper-aggressive with these Stalkers. Is it enough, though? Does he have enough so far? Good movement. Only 3 Stalkers have gone down to the initial surround. And we're breaking through. We're getting on top of the base. And this hatchery will fall. Again, it wasn't a bad fight for Reynor, but unfortunately just did not have enough. No Roaches to support. Roaches are just now on the way, but we're camping the production. We're camping the eggs. Roach is going to be going down. Reynor going for a big counterattack at the same time. Meanwhile, herO, he's taking the 4th base behind this army. Well, we get 1. We get 2. We get 2 Stalkers. Big pickups. Every Stalker counts. Bit of miscontrol out of herO. Wasn't able to blink in time. He does get eyes on the Baneling run by. Aye. In herO, he's going to respond. He's going to chase this down. Good movement out of herO. Yeah, every single Baneling going to go down here to energy. Very efficient trade. Lings have been spotted. herO keeping up with the Ling movement. Does rotate around. Does wall off in time. Now, because of that Baneling run by, Reynor forced herO to back off. He forced him to back off, and Reynor, he's had time to gather up his forces, produce Roaches, Lings, but he still doesn't have a 4th. That's the scary thing. We need a 4th base. Just now finishes up. Oh, a rough trade there for Reynor, bleeding out a lot of Lings. A lot of Lings go down. A 5th base is denied. Reynor anticipating a counterattack. At least he does have a 4th. Still not saturated. Reynor, he's still on a low drone count. This is dangerous. Reynor, remember, he cut workers earlier on at 61, and he still hasn't droned. Just now he's droning. But it means that herO, he has a better economy, and he is soon to surpass him in supply. Reynor, he needs time. He needs time to get back into this. Does need more time. More creep being shut down. You can just see how efficient herO has been with his trades. Has recovered, not to get surrounded. Reynor coming in from multiple angles. Decent stutter stepping here from herO. Decent kiting. That's what I was looking for. The Oracle's a damage over the Ravagers. Ravagers are being focused down one after the other. Charge ups coming in as well to support. Big surround of those Stalkers though. Yeah, really rough trading for herO. Expensive losses for the Protoss. Banelings a crash into the Zealots as well. But do we have enough Stalkers? We may just. We may just here as the Lings go down. Reinforcements come in, and Reynor, it took him too long to get his economy up and running. Just now getting up to 72, and Reynor, he is hurting. He's barely reinforcing in time. If herO didn't get caught out with his Stalkers, if he didn't get surrounded with the Lings earlier, like, he would be able to break through. Like, herO, he's so close to breaking Reynor. Yeah, reinforcements on the way. Prism has arrived. And Reynor, he's up against the wall. Oh, the Banelings! They crash into the Zealots! Big trades. Big connections there with the Banelings. So far, the ideal start for Reynor, but is it enough anyway? Yeah, big stasis here on the Lings. Zealots, they come in to reinforce. herO, he's taking down a lot of these roaches. A lot of roaches going to be going down, but it's barely not enough. Oof. Ravager piles being dodged. herO just keeping the pressure up. He's so close to breaking Reynor. It's so close. But those Banelings earlier were brutal. We're brutal here. Disruptors on the way. Let's go. Good stasis trap. Oh, creating a choke point here. Funneling in the army of Reynor. Making it so difficult to push in, to engage. I don't know how I feel about the Disruptor. Like, it's either Colossus or Disruptor. Like, either one would work well here. The Disruptor is a little bit risky, though. It is risky. File does connect. Once again, the charge will run into Banelings. But once again, but this time we have more Zealots. Forcing the Lings away. Stalker's trading well against the Roach Ravager. Zealots being cleaned up, getting completely surrounded. Oh, and herO, he's running out of steam. Nova goes off. Grazes the army. Doesn't really trade well. Oh, big stasis traps here from behind. There are so many stasis traps. Oh my god. Catching so much of the army. You can see herO in a bit of trouble. But more Disruptors have arrived. Nova going to be going off. Big connection. Oh my god. Massive connection here on the Stalkers. Sorry, on the Queens. The Stalkers, they blink on forward. We dive on top of the army. And have we barely done it? The stasis, they're running out. The Lings are the real MVPs as we do get a surround here. The Stalkers are going down. And Reynor, he's done it. He's destroyed this army. He's cleaned it up. He holds. And now herO's in a brutal position here. Like, tech-wise, he doesn't have a second Robo. Doesn't have a Stargate. Like, herO was so aggressive this game. And again, he was so close to killing Reynor. There were a couple of key moments. One was the Banelings connecting with the Zealots. Those Banelings connections, the Baneling connections were huge. The other was herO getting surrounded in the center of the map. He got surrounded. He lost half his Stalkers. I want to say like 8 Stalkers went down to the surround. There were these 2 key moments. And that did keep Reynor in this. And now he's stabilized. Reynor, he's on 5 bases, soon to be 6. On a good economy. And herO, he's not built for a late game. Like, he just doesn't have the tech for it. Doesn't have the production. Yeah, herO in a lot of trouble here. Banelings, they crash in once again with the Zealots. Lings, they come in from left-hand side. We get into the middle line. 9, 10 probes go down. And Reynor, he has done it. He's running away with it here, getting on top of the army. And it was so close. But again, those key fights going Reynor's way went a long way for him. Gonna get a kill in the northern base and a kill towards the south. GG gets called and Reynor takes a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. GG, well played. That was a very close game. Again, Reynor, he was on the brink. He was on the edge. He was almost brought low by herO. There were a couple of key moments there, and Reynor was able to trade well enough, trade efficiently enough, and survive, and eventually outscale herO. Again, herO was very all-in with his playstyle. Very all-in. He had no longevity with this. He had no additional tech on the way, no additional production. He didn't really have anything else behind it. It was all or nothing for herO. And Reynor is now one game away. Uno más, one more, and he will take the series. He will advance on to face off against Serral in the upper bracket finals. Ooh, here we go. Is so close. Is so close to taking it. The question becomes, once again though, what does herO do here on Hecate? Hecate is a very defendable map. Oh boy, aggression isn't really favored on Hecate, so I wonder how herO approaches this. We can be defensive, we can be very tech heavy, we can get into it. Meanwhile, in the bottom left hand corner, we have Reynor, the Basilisk. And in the top right, we have his opponent, we have herO for CranKy Gaming. Go. Now again, Hecate has, as opposed to Oceanborn, as opposed to Golden Aura, Hecate is not quite Golden Aura, as opposed to yeah, even Solaris here. Hecate is so defendable. There are so many choke points in the center of the map, towards your main natural and third bases as well. We have seen a lot of late game on Hecate as a result, and I wouldn't be opposed to herO playing a more tech heavy style. What I'm referring to is delaying the Twilight Council, going into heavy robo production, into a death ball of an army. Very Showtime, very creator-esque. We'll see. Meanwhile, Reynor, once again, 15-15. 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool. A much safer opener here from Reynor. Oh, spawning pool gets delayed for a moment. Only for a second. But yeah, because of the map itself, I'm curious as to how herO approaches this. I'm sure he is one to take advantage of the map, and herO has been very aggressive so far this series. Every game he's just been in the face of Reynor, or been trying to be in the face of Reynor. Every single game, non-stop aggression. Game 2 is a bit of a like variation. It's a little bit different, but that's only because he got scattered. It's only because the all-in was scattered from herO, so he had to like deviate away from it, from his initial plan, which is what happened in game 2. So here, what do we get in game 4? What do we get? I wouldn't be opposed to something like a Skytoss rush either. I know I was talking about like a robo-heavy style. We have seen a lot of success with rushing into carriers or Tempests, investing into like a handful of carriers and Tempests, and then going for ground toss. That is a little bit out of meta. That was very trendy like November, December of last year, but has fallen off quite a bit after December. Ooh, as here we go for the first time this series, Twilight Council opener. Bold move here by herO, bold move. So there's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, the rush distance by ground on Hecate is actually quite short. It's quite a short rush distance by ground. As we mentioned though, there's a lot of like defensive capabilities that help you out here on Oceanborn. Sorry, Hecate is what I meant to say. On Hecate, is the ramps, the choke points as well. We have not pulled out a... Okay, there we go. I'm like, we haven't pulled out a gas. We now pull out a gas. It is going to be Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adepts here by herO. Now, what kind of variation of Glaive Adepts is the real question? Do we go 4-gate Glaives, 6-gate Glaives, or do we go even 4-gate Glaives into DTs? I'm curious as to how herO does bring this forward. There are more aggressive and all-in variations. There are more economic variations as well. For now, it's going to be 4 gateways. There we go, 4 gates in total. And we'll keep an eye on herO, as 4-gate Glaives should lead into a third base, should lead into an expansion. So Dev's going to be dipping in between the bases, running mineral lines. Now from here we should be expanding, or we could even go into something like a Templar, no Templar Archives, into a Robotics Bay, into Disruptor production. That's also on the table. You know, Reynor going for a 4-minute Roachborn, very nicely timed. Reynor, he does respond beautifully here against a Twilight Council opener. He's aware. So very safe play out of Reynor. That means that Roaches will come out in time. It's going to be all about the positioning and the execution. We'll see if Reynor can keep up with the adept control of herO. Adepts have been confirmed. We have a couple of safety spore crawlers on the way just in case it's DTs. Just in case Dark Templar are incorporated. So solid defense so far by Reynor. So he waddles on in. Zones away those adepts. Yeah, there are Lings keeping up with the Shade as well. And we commit! We commit to the Shade. Lings are going to be going down, but so far a good trade. And we get on top of the Prism! No shot. The Prism goes down. A big loss there for herO. No more reinforcements. Prism is being remade. We do break through the Lings, though. We are getting damage done. But no more reinforcements. What you see is what you get. Roaches are coming out. We're trying desperately to get into that mineral line. Ooh, as we commit to the Shade, we head towards the third base. There's nothing here. There's nothing at the third. Only 3 workers go down. And we were looking for more. We were hoping for more damage. As herO backs off. I mean, he has to again. There's no reinforcements here. The Prism just now on the way. And here come a wave of adepts. We can still try to keep this up. Oh, the Ursadak went down. Another wave of reinforcements on the way. We get a high energy queen. Oh, the queens are falling. Good pickups here from herO. Gets 1 queen. Doesn't commit to the Shade. Behind this, he's getting into Immortal production. No, he gets surrounded. No shot. The Immortal, it's gonna go down. Boys, not quite pulled here. A big loss there for herO. herO in the main base, shaking his head for a moment. He still has potential. We're running out of Lings. We're getting on top of the drones. Oh my god. A lot of workers are going down as we recall back home. And that was much better. So in total, I believe 11 drones. 11 drones fell. It was 11 workers and a queen. A queen and a couple of roaches, and of course Lings. So it wasn't a bad trade from herO. Losing the Prism was huge. It did force him to, or did delay a lot of momentum. herO, though, now focusing on his next step. Building up Immortals, Sentries, Robotics Bays on the way, and there's that third base. The game will continue from here. Thankfully, even though herO lost his Prism, because he killed so many workers, he's still in this. He's still in this. And Disruptors are a bit of a Hail Mary play. This Prism, this eventual Disruptor drop is, yeah, going to be a bold move here from herO. Hoping to catch back up and hoping to gain a lead even. As we are pushing out across the map. No Ravagers. That means Force Fields are going to be quite effective here in this attack. There we go, Ravagers now on the way. Sentries have been revealed. Bloodlings have been going down. Feed up the Lings. We throw down the Force Fields. We catch a Queen. Good pickups here from herO. These, oh my god, these Immortals trading so well against this. The Force Fields are popping up. As Roaches are getting caught one after the other. We commit to the Shade. We Shade into the natural base. 8 drones go down in an instant. And Reynor, he's being pulled apart. He lost a big chunk of Roaches to the army. The Immortals, they survive. And we are still going ham here on the drones. 11 workers go down. Reynor being pulled completely apart here. Initially, he had a good start to the defense. But the Adepts, they still got damage done nonetheless. Again, herO, he has killed players like Dark, Solar, and even Reynor with Glaive Adepts before, and he will do it again. The Glaive spot. Like it's 2020. Never goes up! Oh, good splits. We get 2 Roaches. But again, herO, he does have the supply lead. He has a little potential with these Disruptors. Remember, herO, he even lost an Immortal, by the way. Like, this was a shaky start from herO. He lost the Prism, lost the Immortal. Doesn't even matter. Doesn't even need the Immortal. As he pushes towards the base and never goes up. much better connection, taking down a Ravager. Adepts, they come in from behind. We collapse on this army. And GG gets called as herO will tie this up at 2-2. We're going to the ace match. GG, well played. GG, as herO does pull it off here. Again, initially he had a rocky start. It was a rocky start for herO. And maybe because of that, Reynor was a little bit too confident. Fun fact, after Reynor killed and sniped that Prism, he wasn't making any more links. He had stopped link production, he was focusing on roaches instead, and that meant that he couldn't actually keep up with the shades, and herO was still gaining value and still out-positioning Reynor because of his mobility, because Reynor was just making roaches, and we saw that herO was able to achieve a lot despite not having reinforcements, despite losing his Prism. Impressive, very impressive stuff. And he followed that up with a 2-base all-in. I did see a comment in the chat, is Glaive Adepts all-in? It is not, and we saw a 3rd base behind it. 4-gate Glaives is just an aggressive opener, but herO followed it up with Immortal Production with Sentries with an all-in follow-up, which did catch Reynor off guard. And again, impressive that it worked anyway, despite herO even losing his first Immortal. That was a big moment. herO losing an Immortal that early on is huge. Imagine how easier that game would have been with a 3rd Immortal. Despite that though, Reynor just wasn't able to keep up, lost far too much of the Adepts, and we're going to the ace match. It goes all the way to game number 5. And the question becomes, what build do we see in game 5? Every single game, which is what we expected. herO has done something different every single game so far. He has so many builds up his sleeve, so many more builds that he won't even showcase here tonight, as he has so many more available for future series. And what do you have for us? What do you have here in game number 5? As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta, we have our Italian Zerg player Reynor, the Basilisk. And in the top left, we have his opponent. We have herO for CranKy Gaming. Shouldn't be a surprise. Once again, Reynor going for a 15-15. Very safe opener here out of Reynor. herO back at home, setting up his gate expand. And now we get to indulge in Site Delta. Site Delta is an interesting map. It's very wide. It's very wide, like vertically here. There are a lot of bases to be taken, but because of how like wide or long, depending on how you want to look at it, how long it is, if the game goes on longer into the mid to late game, which we haven't really experienced, like this series has been very aggressive, very chaotic. We have yet to really get into a proper late game scenario between these two players. Even a proper mid game, to be honest. Like the one game that went a little bit longer was herO on Oceanborn, but that was only because like his all-in was scouted, so he had to like pivot away from it. He was just stuck at home. So it was a very different dynamic. But if we do end up in a longer game here, the player with map control has a big advantage. Like these bases are so spread out, they're so far apart, it'd be so difficult to actually defend the north and the south at the same time. So things can, you know, swing one way or the other. Likewise, the rush assist by ground isn't actually too long. It can be a little bit deceiving, but there is one big advantage that players have, that is the ramp. This is one of the few maps in the map pool that has a ramp into the natural, so on 2 bases you're pretty well fortified and pretty well set up as a result of that. At least on 2 bases. Your third, more exposed. Unlike some of the other maps out there, there's no ramp leading into the 3rd base, so the 3rd, it's much easier to really engage in and really collapse upon. That's where a lot of like timings do hit, and a lot of all-ins hit as well, is the 3rd base. As behind this, we do have a Stargate opener. Once again, it's going to be a Stargate opener. I mean, last game was a Twilight Council. This time it's a Stargate. Should be for Oracle play. Should be, but again, I don't want to rule out the possibility of going for a Void Ray first, because herO has whipped that out in the past. And again, herO has done a different build every game so far. And I'm sure that trend will continue, as he's going to be getting across the map. Shading on out. Dipping in between the bases. Does commit to the shade. Bold move. Is going to get a scout. Does confirm the lack of additional gases. And Can he get away? Ooh, as he's taking a lot of damage. And up! He barely will. Barely will escape. Again, herO just confirming that there was no Roach Rush, which we have seen in the past here on Site Delta. herO is preparing back at home for a third base, for an expand. Are soon to be throwing down that third base, and again we're just keeping an eye on what kind of tech comes out afterwards. herO going to be testing the defenses, dipping into the natural. Queens are in position, and the Oracle is going to be zoned away. Likewise, that up shading in towards the main. We do join forces, but the Oracle takes too much damage, and ooh, herO loses his first Oracle without getting any value. Big pick off, a big loss for herO. Again, just being a little bit too adventurous across the map. Gets a handful of drones, but this is not worth losing an Oracle. And herO is going to be on the back foot. That means he has that much less to threaten his opponent. And he will most likely have to rebuild. As I say that, though, he's getting more damage done. Oh my god! Gets 6, 7 drones. Clutch transfused towards the end there, but 7 workers go down. For 2 adepts and an Oracle. Not ideal, but better. It could have been worse here for herO. As he persists, and we have a wave of adepts behind this. I believe it's 5 adepts. Yeah, there we go. 5 adepts are on the way to support this army, and we're transitioning into a Forge and Twilight Council. Should be +1 in Blink, but we'll keep an eye on the tech of herO. Once again, herO very in the face of Reynor right now. Yes, be careful. I see you. He commits to the shade. Not too fond of this. Lings are in position. Adepts going to be going down. Yeah, they will be cleaned up by the Lings. Oracles, they come in to try to support, but again, so much damage was dealt. The Adepts did fall. And once again, herO, he overstays his welcome, loses another Oracle. This is, again, I'm not too sure if this is quite worth it. Losing 2 Oracles for 12 drones. I mean, putting in that perspective, it's a little bit better. But we've lost all of our Adepts. We've lost the map control. We can see Reynor going for a big Ling counterattack. And we have to remake the Oracles. This is what I do like out of herO. If herO, so ideally you cut Oracles at 3. We already have 3. We lost 2. Because we lost 2, we have to remake them. Like, Oracles are so valuable for Protoss players when it comes to scouting, when it comes to harassing, when it comes to supporting your army with stasis traps and the Pulsar Beam. Oracles are crucial, so a 4th Oracle is made just to make sure that we're safe. Behind this, we have a Gateway Explosion. I believe that's going to be 8 gates in total, +1. Charge on the way. Another Oracle goes... herO! He's been quite careless with his Oracles this game. That's the 3rd Oracle falling. Ay, ay, ay. Stasis Trap doesn't quite connect. His Adepts have been popping off, is what I will say. Overlord comes in. We confirm the Gateway count. Get eyes on all the gates. It's going to be Charged Archon as the combination of choice. So Charged Archon and Immortal here for herO. It can be a terrifying army, but upon losing all these Oracles, it does mean that Reynor's free to drone. It does mean that he's free to drone, free to saturate. 13 workers going down in total. The Zealots have already hit the field. They have revealed themselves. Reynor now aware. We've got roaches that are amassing. I do like this. herO basically faking out a push. And as a result, Reynor hasn't droned. Like, honestly, he is free to drone up to 80 right now, and he hasn't. He's been tentative to. So herO, he reveals his Zealots, fakes his opponent out, backs off, takes a 4th. herO going to be expanding. Harassing with just Archons. Roaches are in position. We'll see if herO can stabilize. If he can build up to 4 bases. Think around by getting a read on things. Does get eyes on the charge lots, on the Immortal. Another Oracle goes down! You don't want to be an Oracle this game. You don't want to be an Oracle here, as every single Oracle has fallen. Even upon remaking the 4th Oracle, it fell as well. Zed herO gonna be stuck at home. Second Robo's on the way for double Immortal production. I mean, herO is building up a pretty intense army, like a death ball of a Protoss army with Charged Archon Immortal. The problem is that he needs time right now, and because he lost all of his Oracles, he can't really threaten the economy. Not anymore. He was for quite some time. He was able to, you know, cripple and kill a couple of workers here and there, force army to be made. There is a lot of pressure on herO right now to try to slow Reynor down, because Reynor is now maxed. He's maxed out. He's on 86 drones. Ooh, dealing quite a bit of hull damage to that prism. Reynor's looking quite comfortable. These Zealot Rabbis have potential, but I believe Reynor, for the most part, is in position. And Zealots are pulling back. You have Zealots from both ends. You have the Archon drop as well. Working towards Colossi. Again, herO, he's getting there. He's building up his army. He's slowly maxing out. We are getting into a longer game for the first time. Like a longer back and forth. Where herO is soon about to catch up in set supply. Reynor stuck on Lingbane Roach Ravager. Does have a hive. The Banelings! Big connections. Big connections on the Zealots. Good trade here from Reynor. None of the Oracles predicted their fall. You're an animal, Einstein. You're an animal. Also true. Shaking my head. But yeah, we already have Hive Tech. Vipers are on the way. Vipers are going to be the nail in the coffin, or they're going to be a big part of this next fight. Sure, herO, he has a lot of high-tech units. He's got Colossus. He's got actually a good amount of Immortals, to be fair. But Vipers will help so much when it comes to shutting down those units. When it comes to sniping those Colossi specifically. Spire is on the way for potentially Mutas or even Broodlords. Or Corruptors, I should say. Now, both armies are maxing out. And now we can push. Now, how will herO approach this? Now, when it comes to the armies, Reynor, he doesn't have the ideal army right now. I would say in a head-to-head fight, herO would win. Oh, as the prison takes a lot of damage. In a head-to-head fight, herO does have the advantage here, but we do have Vipers. They can get some yoinks in. Blinding Cloud instead. Oh my god. Colossus not really adding any DPS here. Big engage with the Banelings. Once again, another Blinding Cloud. Reynor instantly remaxing. We have 100 Lings in production. Oh my god. 100 Lings are on the way. herO continuing his push. The Vipers are out of energy, but this army is so low. It's so bad and it's so bruised. herO pushing deep onto creep. Lings threaten to dive. A lot of swipes though. A lot of Colossus swipes go off. herO backing off, waiting for reinforcements. Banelings in production. We have almost, what, 30-ish Banelings for Reynor. We have one Archon to soak it all. Banelings from behind. And we collapse in from behind. We get on top of the Immortals. We get on top of some of these Colossi as well. The Immortal count is going to be reset. We yoink the Prism. We deny the Warp in. And Reynor, he's forcing this back, cleaning this up. Again, there's almost nothing left. The Vipers were the MVPs. The Blinding Clouds were insane for so long. For basically half of the first fight, for most of the first fight, the Colossus were doing nothing. hero's fighting back. Does shave off some of the Roach Ravager, but behind this there's no fifth. There's no fifth base. There's no more economy, no greater economy here for herO. He's working on upgrades, but it takes so long to rebuild a Robo army. It takes so long to rebuild Colossus and Immortals. And herO doesn't have the money for it. That's the problem. He just doesn't have the money for that to rebuild that army. Not anymore. That's why there's no additional Colossus or Immortals in production. herO doesn't have the gas. Reynor remaxing, rolling in once again. It was a back and forth. Did go all the way to the ace smash, but Banelings are rolling in. They're going for the army. Storm is not done. Storm not quite done here. We throw down some feedbacks. Overcharge holding on. We yoink the Colossus. The final Colossus does go down. And we deny the warp in. The pylon goes down. The warp in is denied. And we have broken this space. We've broken the economy. herO with almost nothing left. Comes in with some zealots. Our boys are being pulled. We're doing whatever we can here to try to hold on. We can maybe clean up these Ravagers. They're quite exposed. Yeah, the Ravagers are being cleaned up. But again, Reynor, he can just back off and remax. He has a bank. They went to town on those Ravagers. Oh my god. But here he's down to 3 bases. Down to barely a 2-base economy at this point. Barely 2 bases. Again, herO just had a really shaky start, trying to get into his 4-base economy, losing so many oracles, losing control of the map. Reynor, he was free to just do whatever he wanted. And Reynor, he is snowballing out of control. He is looking to face off against his teammate. Looking to face off against ZvP in the upper bracket finals. herO going for a last-ditch effort, going for a final push. Ah, the power bomb takes down the prism. Does bring it down. Blinding Cloud's going to be thrown down as well. Oof, the Biles connecting with the Zealots. At the same time, a big Link counterattack and 10 probes went down. Looks like it was a Baneling run by. And again, herO, he's all in. It's all or nothing. The Banelings, they crash into the Zealots. And we have the Road Ravager for everything else. We do see herO breaking through, but the Banelings, they finish up just in time. And yeah, it's just a numbers game at this point. herO, he's just running out of money, running out of supply. Nothing left. There's 3 immortals, now 2, now 1. And soon to be none. GG gets called. Reynor will take the series at 3-2 and will advance on to face off against ZvP in the upper bracket finals. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was much more dynamic than the previous series where ZvP did 3-0. So a solid back and forth there between Reynor and herO, and we had some really interesting games. I'm not convinced by the Oceanborn game. It was the first time we saw herO go for a 1-1-1, go for a triple forge, which was crazy. It didn't work. Did not work. I appreciate the creativity, though. I appreciate the creativity. As we're going to be going on a short break. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, ZvP versus Reynor coming up next in a best of 7 upper bracket finals. See you soon. Huh.
大家好，我是星际争霸2世界冠军李培南。作为职业选手，每天大部分时间都是在电脑前度过。每次训练结束都会有不同程度的腰酸背痛，所以我们对电竞椅的要求都非常严格，能保护腰部并且坐感舒适，成为我们挑电竞椅的重要指标。我们一直在用的奥风电竞椅就完美做到这一点。升级的锥背小弹腰有足够的支撑力，并且上下前后都能调节，坐着很舒服，非常适合大家玩游戏的时候使用。不论用什么姿势，正坐、靠着、躺着。 腰托都可以支撑我的腰部，非常舒服。再来坐感，这款还配置了空调坐垫，夏天凉爽，冬天温暖，真的是跟空调一样精准控温。训练久了总觉得闷热，坐垫有3档风度调节，游戏再也不闷屁股了。现在天气转凉了，坐垫同样配置了3档加热功能，让身体一直保持温暖，游戏手感一直火热。训练之余刷刷手机休息一下，玩玩手游，6D 机械手臂可以自调节高度，手臂不会感觉累。 同时扶手面很大，即使有大动作也不会落空。相信我，跟我一起选择奥风机械大师电竞椅，你也可以逆袭成为冠军。
打开微信，搜索公众号“星际老男孩 SC Boy”， 这里有每日的直播预告、重要的赛事报道、精彩的视频剪辑、有趣的主播八卦、定期的抽奖福利以及爆笑的节奏和评论。关注 SC Boy 官方公众号。 365天每天更新，让你与20万猛男一起更便捷的享受我和黄哥给大家带来的快乐，不要告诉别人哟。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final series of the night, to a ZvZ between herO and Reynor. Let's go. Arguably some of the best, or the best Zerg players in the world, going to be facing off to determine who makes it to the grand finals and who has to work their way through the lower bracket instead. As a reminder, no one here has been eliminated yet. Everyone here that has played tonight is still in the tournament, even Maru and herO, and even the loser of this series, because there is a lower bracket. There is a lower bracket, so plenty more days of Master Coliseum to come, plenty more matches, plenty more players. So bear that in mind, as again, we're going to be diving into a best of 7, not a best of 5, so it's going to be a bit of a longer series, ideally more of a back and forth, and herO and Reynor, they have quite a history with each other. They are the best Zerg players of their respective region, and again, arguably the world. And clearly, Dark, of course, has something to say about that. But for now, we are, of course, referring to these two players, and herO has been known to have a bit of a weak point in his overall playstyles or his matchups. ZvZ is typically where upsets can happen, and where herO can show weakness. But at the same time, herO is aware of this, has been working on it. I'm sure actively working on his ZvZ and has been shoring it up. And that is reflected in recent times, as we have seen herO take down Solar. He's been able to take down Solar a little bit more frequently, a little bit more regularly, ever since kind of the stint where he was struggling against him. So really cool to see herO just, again, growing and adapting as a player, refining and adjusting his skill. Specifically in ZvZ, we have seen herO be more divisive and more aggressive. For a long time, herO, he used to be the reactive player in ZvZ, and he would just focus on scouting and play a standard game. But recently, he's been the one to cut workers. He's been the one to make roaches at like weird timings and catch his opponent off guard and go for these big, strong all-ins. Like, herO has been doing an amazing job here at adjusting and being the aggressor in ZvZ. Likewise when it comes to scouting as well. So even though herO is known for being like a macro monster in a lot of matchups, like that has been changing over time, and he's been kind of spreading his wings and spreading his horizons, and it's been really cool to see. Really cool to see herO embrace like another side of himself. Oh boy, which makes him that much more terrifying in this matchup. Does make him that much more terrifying here. Likewise, Reynor typically is more active overall. He's always kind of been like the yin to the yang of herO, where herO was always like the macro beast and Reynor was more chaotic and aggressive and active. And there's been a bit of a role reversal recently. I know Reynor has been very vocal, saying that he has been focusing a lot more on macro play. He has been improving his own like macro games and late game a lot over the past year of play as well. So both players have been working on kind of what they haven't been as known for. And just, yeah, improving a lot more as a player. So it's been really cool to see them both grow, and we'll see how this all turns out. The ZvZ, it's going to be chaotic and going to be hard to call. In general, I do favor herO. I do favor herO over Reynor, but I'm thinking like, maybe like 60-40, you know, like even if I would say that herO's favored, still not like a clear favorite is the thing. And Reynor, he's always a terrifying beast in his own right, and this shouldn't be a 4-0 is what I'm getting at. I'm going to be shocked if this is going to be a 4-0 in favor of either player. This should be more of a back and forth, and we should be able to dive into and sink our teeth into this series a little bit more. I would hope so. I would hope so. I would hope so. So for now, we're just going to be lying in wait here, just waiting for our players to prepare themselves. I assume that we'd be ready a little bit sooner. I have predictions ready to go. I have the predictions ready. But looks like our players just need a little bit more time. It could also be due to latency as well. If you remember, there was some issues when it came to connecting to players' webcams in the herO series. some issues when so there was maybe we just want to make sure that we can clear that up as well before we get into our final best of. I'm just making sure. Just making sure. God, we had a timer earlier. But regardless, when it comes to some of the other matches that are going to be ongoing, let me just quickly double check, because there have been some updates in the bracket. Exclamation mark B in the chat. Ooh, and we have the lower bracket matches as well. They're going to be tomorrow. So if you're curious, today we determine who makes it to the grand finals. Tomorrow are going to be some elimination matches in the lower bracket. It's going to be herO versus Solar and Maru versus Dark. Oh boy. The Korean on Korean action tomorrow. Some really good matches, some really good series. Can't wait to get into that. I believe tomorrow, I think it's only going to be 2 best ofs. I think it's only going to be herO and Solar tomorrow. Yeah, only two. And the day after will be the lower bracket semifinals. We may have some show matches. In the past, Master Coliseum, they have been, you know, willing to like embrace and have some fun and have some show matches here and there, like some team league show like some like 2v2 show matches or like free for alls and stuff like that. So I'm not entirely certain as to the schedule, but we may embrace that later on. Because there are going to be 2 more days left. 2 more days. But bear that in mind. The other big thing is that we're going to be casting Master Coliseum every day, of course, except for Saturday. The second last day of Master Coliseum, we will be busy casting the House Open Cup. Sorry, the House Galactic Battle. That is an offline LAN event in Poland. So we're going to be covering that instead for the entire day. It's going to be a day-long event. You know, expect like a 14 to 16-hour cast. As LANs usually are. Like a very long event on Saturday. So we will be missing Saturday, the second last day of Master Coliseum live, but we will be catching up. We're going to be having a catch-up cast before the finals. Before the finals, we will be going live, going over those matches, so we can catch up leading into the final day of Master Coliseum on Sunday. That's the plan, at least. That is going to be the plan. So we're going to be missing the second last day live. We're going to be catching up just before the finals. Just before those finals, just as a heads up. And again, we aren't missing it because we can't cast. Now we're going to be casting, just we have other commitments. We have other commitments to other events. Again, we have close ties to the Polish scene. Got a lot of love for the people over in Bologna. So we get in there. We'll be getting there. Looks like we have quite a long delay though, so I may just cut to another short break. There's no timer, so I don't know what the holdup is, and I don't know what's going on, but hopefully we can catch our players and conduct our vetoes and everything. So maybe Reynor's asking for a short break. So we're going to be going on a short break here, and when we return, we'll have our final series. Hopefully it won't be too long. See you soon. See you soon. Yeah, watch me cut to like the break screen and then bam, they show up. Good.